Hello everyone, how are we doing, and welcome to another Saturday session. Now, we've done this before, the confidently incorrect subreddit. I know what you're thinking. Flat earthers are probably some of the most confidently incorrect people on the internet. Well, whilst that is true, there is still a lot of other people. So what we're going to do is we're going to scroll through the confidently incorrect subreddit and look at some of the funny confidently incorrect people. So here we go. Let's start with this one. P.S. Google a refresher. Do you want me to start pointing out your eras as well? You sound like you're speaking broken English. I can hear that dirty accent through the screen. And then this person's corrected them and said, through the screen. And then they've replied saying, no, it's through. Talking about, I can physically hear your stupid accent through the screen. Through is to describe something finished or done. Happy to educate you anytime on my language. Wow. That is one of the most confidently incorrect people I've ever seen on this subreddit. Brilliant. I love ones like that. Ladies, it's finally happened. I just had a mansplaining so epic it will never be topped. I just had a man ask me why I chose to be a widow. I said, I'm sorry, but that's not something you choose. He said, you just need to open your heart and let someone love you instead of choosing to stay a widow. I said, what do you think widow means exactly? The man said, a widow is when a woman gives up on dating and stays alone for the rest of her life. I said, that is not what that means. He said, I've met a lot of widows in my life, so I think I know when it means more than you. I am done. I quit. I surrender. I cannot with these men anymore. Oh, you know what? It's a trap. Mansplaining is a trap. Don't do it. Don't try and explain anything because you're just going to get accused of mansplaining. Oh, dear, oh dear. Okay, we've got a little poll here. The driest continent in the world is, and we've got 75% for Antarctica, 6% Oceania, 2% South America, and 16% Africa. But Antarctica is made out of snow and ice, which is water, and it's surrounded by water, whereas the other continents are surrounded by other continents. Driest means moisture and precipitation it gets. At the entire continent is one big precipitation. It doesn't get much rain, and you don't get much air. What does that have to do with anything? Dry equals lack of moisture. Even ice and snow aren't completely solid and can easily be turned into water, which is also moisture. Lack of air equals lack of intelligence. And Antarctica is very dry, so I don't know what your point is. It gets 6 inches of precipitation each year is what I'm hearing, so it's very dry. And the Earth is flat because it looks like that. Flat Earth has nothing to do with this. This is brilliant. Funny how you call him unintelligent yet refuse to learn the right terms and what they mean. To begin with, all continents are surrounded by water. That's kind of what makes them continents from a purely geographical perspective. Now, it is true that there is a huge ice sheet on Antarctica, but dry in this context is about how much precipitation a place gets annually. Precipitation meaning water that falls from the sky in any form. Antarctica on average gets around 50 millimetres of precipitation every year. This is because the ice absorbs most of the moisture from the ocean, which makes the air very dry and clouds don't form as easily. Pair this with a lack of vegetation on the continent and you've got yourself a desert. Absolutely correct. Well done, that person. Even though it's technically covered by water, what matters here is the amount of water that falls from the sky, and Antarctica gets very little of it every year. I'll tell you what, that's one of the funniest things I've read so far. The entire continent is one big precipitation. That is funny. There has never been another nation ever that has existed much beyond 250 years. Not a single one. America's 250th year is 2025. The next 4 years are going to be pretty interesting considering everything that's already been said. My local pub is older than your country. So whilst that is true, now I learned a few things on my trip away recently. America is actually quite old compared to other countries in the world, because other countries in the world, there's been so many issues on borders and sovereignty and everything like that, that some countries haven't been around for that long. So 250 years is a good amount of time to be a country, to be fair. And NASA would be irrelevant without SpaceX. NASA has existed since 1958 and put men on the moon in 69, 70, 71 and 72, several rovers on Mars and the solar probe. SpaceX formed in 2009 and has yet to land someone on the moon, land anything on Mars, or send a probe to the sun. Try again. And yet SpaceX is the only American entity sending rockets into space. Try again. Rocket Lab and ULA are both American companies. Totally true. They are. As well are Blue Origin. Although they technically... No, they did get to space. They got to space with New Glenn, their first launch. That's a bit specific. Pacific. Specific. It's specific. Go back to class. You're the one that's wrong. Yeah. People do this in life as well, don't they? They say Pacific instead of specific. It's quite amusing, but to try and correct someone on the internet about it is even funnier. Venus, yellow sky. Earth, blue sky. Mars, red sky. The primary colours are covered. Yellow is not a primary colour. Yes, it is. RGB, red, green, blue are the primary colours. Yellow is a mix of red and green. No, red, yellow and blue are primary. Green, purple and orange are secondary. Come on, you should know. You should know the primary colours. I think that's something that sort of is a given for an adult, I think. Dear oh dear. Because elusive is 3 syllables. Elusive is 4 syllables though. How many syllables is elusive? 3 syllables. Divide elusive into syllables. Elusive. Stress syllable in elusive. Elusive. How to pronounce elusive. Elusive. How to say elusive. Pronounce syllables in elusive. Elusive. Brother in Christ, I linked you a website. Amazing. Again, syllables, something you should really know as an adult. Here's a weird fact. If you're driving on a country road and you notice they don't form a perfect grid, so that you will have to take a little dogleg curve to stay on the same road, those are there to compensate for the curvature of the Earth. You can't lay a grid over a globe. I mean, that sounds good, but you can lay a grid over a curved surface. That's literally what latitude and longitude lines are. Yep. I wasn't expecting that to come out to compensate for the curvature of the Earth. That is brilliant. South Africa isn't Africa. That's why it's literally got its own name. South Africa is a country on the continent of Africa. There is no country called Africa. Anyone born on the continent of Africa is an African. Thank you for incorrecting me. Oh dear. Geography ones are good, and here's another one. And why America? This isn't Italy. Italy is European, which is apart from America. The name is America, though, North America to be precise. Accept it or leave. Where in America is Italy, LMAO? Wow. Wow. Geography ones are the best. Nothing and nobody is made of stardust. Stars are plasma. They do not turn to dust. They're also not millions of miles away. Hundreds at most. Hundreds at most. Oh dear. The fact that you think the World Cup is every year is all you need to know. Congrats on your understanding of the English language. You're unaware that saying every year doesn't mean annually. I mean, it literally does. Annually is a synonym of every year. The definition is without missing a year. You cannot win the World Cup every year. It basically seems to be geography or words being confidently incorrect. In Brazil, we write Brazil, not Brazil, with the S. No, it's not. First of all, I'm not a sir. Second of all, no. Brazilians write it with a Z and Americans write it with an S. No. Like it's literally spelled with an S in Portuguese and with a Z in foreign countries. I am Brazilian. I can confirm this. I searched and the correct in Portuguese is Z and in English it is S. Then why do the Brazilian football team have Brazil with an S on their kit? Dear oh dear. It's geography or words. Geography or words. They're the two biggest things in confidently incorrect. And we have another one. I simply don't believe that Europe and Asia are different continents. Science, they're classified by tectonic plates. Anybody else go to school? No, they aren't. Eurasia is one plate. And India, Arabia and Somalia aren't continents in most people's eyes. Yeah, obviously it's not classified by tectonic plates. It's a geographical term because there are many tectonic plates going through many continents. Amazing. For people who don't know, this person was exploiting auto farming and got catched by the director of Blox Fruits, and then he gets his warning. Edit. Guys, caught and catched are the same thing. Stop complaining about it not catched his court? Like, bro, you're 7 years old, thinks you can spell, right? Again, it's a word one. Word is spelling and geography. Imagine having your birthday on January the 1st. You have to wait a full year until your next one. Don't we all have to wait a complete year for the next birthday? Are you dumb? Only people in January have to. Sometimes I don't know what goes through people's heads. Actually, it's quite possible neither the heliocentric or geocentric models have been definitely proven. However, the geocentric model is more accurate with the way things move. The heliocentric model has been proven for hundreds of years. Not proven, just accepted. Geocentric. Dear oh dear. I just made a diorama on reptiles. I know everything about turtles. A turtle isn't a reptile. Yes, a turtle is a reptile. Stay in school, kids. Amphibian is not a reptile. Imagine not knowing amphibians and reptiles are different and telling someone else to stay in school. Stay off OnlyFans. Imagine telling someone that a turtle isn't a reptile and then telling them to stay off OnlyFans. That's worse. That is worse. What is the only country whose name can be spelt using only one row of an English keyboard? Alaska. Europe is not a country, it's a continent. I do know the answer to this. It's Peru. It's Peru. Peru. But yeah, brilliant. That good country of Alaska. You're just mad. No, that's only if something's yours. Oh, the word ones are good. I think, and I'm going to finish with this one because this is not on Confident Incorrect, but I saw it the other day and I thought it's perfect. So Elon Musk saying only 66 years from first flight to landing on the moon in 1969. And then he says, here we are 76 years later, cannot yet return to the moon. We should have been on Mars by now. And then he's been fact-checked by his own platform. It's 56, not 76 years. I mean, that is peak confidently incorrect. Elon Musk saying it's 76 years when it's only 56. It seems to me that's something he should really know. Well, there we go, everyone. Hope you enjoyed that one. Confidently incorrect. Some of the funniest things on the internet. Thanks so much for watching. If you enjoyed it, please do subscribe. And I'll see you all tomorrow for day... what day is it going to be? Day 4 of the One A Day for May. And it is Star Wars themed. See you then. Bye-bye.